The buildings then, are they more of an Arab influence? Because it was during the time of the sultans that they were built. So are they more of an Arab influence?
Yeah, the building was just like these ones here.
Yeah.
So guys, welcome to Gede Ruins. We are in Gede Ruins today and I'm going to walk around the property. It's quite large, it's an ancient city from the...
On this episode of Across All Borders Going East, join me for a day trip to Malindi, Gede Ruins, Malindi Museum, and Vasco da Gama Pillar. On the 2nd of March 2021, I departed my hotel in Watamu, headed over to Malindi. This is roughly about 23 kilometers, and I had a couple of places I wanted to visit. Malindi is a town on Malindi Bay. It's popular among tourists. It's roughly about 120 kilometers northeast of Mombasa. For me, I had decided I wanted to go see a few things. The Gede Ruins, which we'll be looking at, the Malindi Museum, which covers quite a couple of sites, and I was able to see a few of them, and one of them is the Vasco da Gama Pillar. Come along with me as we explore my day trip to Malindi.
Used to people, such that some posts, maybe you are seated like that bench there.
They will come to you, no?
They'll come just next to you and touch your leg like that. Like if you have anything to drop to.
Then they will wait to collect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones in, because we have, that is a... Oh. I am at Gede Ruins, the Gede National Monument, and we're going to take a walk around. As you can see, there's several things to see here. There's a town train, monument trail, the nature trail, and there are buildings in between. I've got my lovely guide here who's going to show me around, so we're going to find out what you can see at the Gede National Monument. So let's go. They're in the high because it's about 3,000 people.
Are you a journalist?
No, I just have my YouTube channel for my friends.
When he came to Mombasa, the Sultan of Mombasa did not welcome him. So Vasco da Gama was invited by the Sultan of Malindi. As he was in Malindi, Vasco da Gama, he learned a number of things from African people, from the Swahili people. Because at the time Vasco da Gama arrived in Malindi, he found the people of Malindi that time already having houses, and those houses have been touched with makuti. Makuti, these are leaves of coconut palms. Coconut palms, their leaves, we call them makuti.
Okay.
So for that case, Vasco da Gama found these people at that time.
So they are more Arab influenced.
So these kind of buildings, okay, we talk, at the time we never had cement. We never had bamboo cement, no rhino, no blue triangle cement. These people use coral stone. They burn them, crush them. White powder was the one which was used as a cement. That idea of cement, burning of the corals, burning together, coming up with the cement, that was an idea brought by the Arabs.
Okay.
After all this time, after all this story, that Vasco da Gama for the first time, when he came to Malindi, he used the toilet for the first time. Plague was a deadly disease which paralyzed most of the cities along the coast. So one could fetch the water from this water hole here and pour that water here, and that water could flow to this big cistern here. Once the water could get in the cistern here, washing of hands, legs, and the face could be done in here. After washing hands, legs, and face, the water to remain here could simply get back to the small pit there, whereby that water could be filtered. Then the filtered water could get back to the water well. It was a sort of recycling. When we talk of water recycle, it started as early 13th, 14th century. Let's get to the Gede Great Mosque and see what happened. So what is this one? We are inside the Gede Great Mosque, and there, that whatever you are looking at, that's the mihrab.
What is the mihrab?
You see that whitish there? All that whitish is original cement they used those days. They could burn the coral stones, crush them together. The white powder was the one which was used as a cement. I mean this one here.
Okay.
All that. And those small holes for decorations. And that greyish one is non-original.
It is not original.
It's not original. Okay. The greyish color. It's modern cement.
Welcome to Gede Ruins. We are in a historical location that marks ancient civilization of the Swahili people. Back in the days when the East African people kind of like mixed with the Arabs, most cities were ruled by sultans and liwalis. Liwalis being governors and a sultan kind of like a president. So liwalis answered to the sultans. And this city, the way it has been built is an old way of building, which is typical Swahili and also a mixture of the Arab technique of building. The reason why you have the Arab influence is because they burnt the bricks to create kind of like cement, which they used to build the houses. So you also see, we're standing right now in a great mosque, and this room or this area here is actually what was used by the imam to summon people for prayers. Because back in the days you didn't have like a megaphone or a loudspeaker to call out to people. It's been formed in a way that when you go in here and say something, it echoes. So it's a prayer call, where he does the prayer call. If we turn around a bit, I'm just going to walk around. We want to see this area of the mosque. That's actually where the women were praying. So it's separated male and female. So we're right now in the Great Mosque, and we're going to walk around and see the rest of the ruin. There are different areas, and I will be showing you that as well.
The city, I just told you, had two walls, inner wall and the outer wall. Within the inner wall, that's for the rich people, outer wall for the poor people.
Okay.
This one here is, today you may call it a street, but at that time, this was not a street, it was a big, like a super highway. It's a private water well. The water from there was cool and clean. That tells us that the people in the city center indeed were rich merchants, that every family in the city center had its own private water well, whereas poor family could share public water wells. Whoever had a stone house, it was a sign that tells one was rich. So this tells us the people lived in the city center indeed were rich merchants, that most of the houses in the city center were of coral stones. And that tells us indeed these people... Just relax. No problem.
But something is wrong. Oh, it lost the hand.
Yeah.
It lost the hand.
Is there something to eat inside?
No.
Okay, fine. It will come up here. It will make...
How did it lose its hand?
They're being trapped when they go to people's shambas to destroy the harvest. Sometimes they make traps to control.
So they
the
don't.
harvest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told you that all these houses were touched by makuti, and that tells us that actually we had the coconut palm trees, and today none of these structures have a roof. With an exception of the bathtub, this is the only structure still have the roof.
Okay.
Centuries of years back, we're talking of 11th or 12th century, already these people had toilets. That's the bathtub. The timbers are not original. They've been put there to prevent the roof from falling.
Okay.
The second chamber is still original. Likewise here, still original. But this man not only having a stone house, with a bathtub, with a private water well, as if all those things are nothing, he even had a swimming pool. There's a step down there. Step down there. One could come down here swimming, relaxing.
Oh, wow.
And we understand that these were people who are very close to the Sultan. A bank. Valuable items could be kept into that room.
Okay.
That room never had a door or a window. It had a small hole on top.
So we have reached the palace, guys. We're going to make a grand entry of the palace. So I can show you the sign. Probably not hearing anything I'm saying, but either which way, let us show you. Voila. The palace, as you can see. And I see there is a water source as well for the palace. A giant well. And that's the archway. So I'm going to get the story behind the palace, and then we'll talk about it later, right in front of the door.
They placed the 3 holes, but right now it's only 2 holes standing. Each of these holes were 1.5 meters deep, and they could be filled with water half full, with a bamboo stick 1 meter high, with a big balloon made of a skin of an animal. The one could come down and pump in air. As one pumping air, the air could go down there, then pass through the bamboo stick to the balloon. Once the balloon exerts much pressure, the balloon releases the air through the tiny pores. But the people sitting around here waiting for the Sultan, they could easily feel fresh air from the balloon.
So it was kind of like a ventilator or a fan.
Exactly.
Okay.
So these were acting as air condition or ventilation. This was for the men, while the other section for the women, while that one there's a VIP toilet. So the entire city was like this, whitish in nature because of the cement.
Okay.
Yeah. And this one here, the pillar tomb, the last two sultans, the last two kings after died are buried here. And this one is the palace annex, the houses of the wives of the sultan.
Ah, yeah.
Like the first one I showed you there. That's for Pipi and Pupu. Pipi and Pupu. These are the units of the
The
house
self-contained.
of the harem. Yeah. And all these ones here, these are the houses of the royal people of the day. Ahead of us there's a house of Venetian glasses. Venice is a city in Italy. Items as far as Italy could be found in here. How did this thing go to this place? The Arab, they said it's Italians. Then later they brought this thing down here. That's how this thing got to this place. On the other side, the Chinese cash. Money from China. The Chinese thought that the Swahili people are that advanced can use money. But unfortunately, when they came with that money, people rejected it. Said, no, we cannot use it. Simply because once accepted, you cannot use it elsewhere. So the Chinese were forced to go back home and came back with goods.
Ah.
It was clearly exchange of good for goods. A washing basin.
Okay.
After excavation, an iron lamp was found down here.
Okay.
This one here. You can see how the
Tree
wood
is
being
growing,
walked
yeah.
up, swallowed by the fig tree. That's
Wow.
it's self-explanatory
Yeah.
that nature is always strong. Unfortunately, a structure of 20 years back is today falling apart. Yet there was a structure of 1,000 years back there, 600.
Yeah.
You see it's falling apart, it's cracking.
Yeah, it doesn't.
There's a book written by a Nigeria, Chinua Achebe.
Chinua Achebe, things fall
Yeah,
apart.
Things fall apart.
And the center cannot hold.
Oh yeah, it's one of the. It's a book
One of the
which
best books
Yeah.
that really talks about, yeah. Ah, it's floated on the beach, Now, guys, these are butterfly eggs. Can you believe it? How small they are? They actually stick to the plant. They stick to the plant. Wait. Let me see if I can get some of them flying around. Okay, are we done? Asante, thank you very much.
Okay, welcome.
So that's the Malindi Historical Circuit. We're going to start with the Malindi Cultural Complex, and then there's the House of Columns, which I've seen. Then there's the Vasco da Gama Pillar, and then there's Portuguese Chapel. So let's start with this one, and the Cultural Resource Center. So here are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Kenya. There's Lamu Old Town. It was made in 2001. There's Fort Jesus in Mombasa. There's the Sacred Majikandi Kaya Forest. There's Ishmael Shohagan Cultural Center. There's Lake Tuka National Park. There's the Kenyan lake system in the Great Rift Valley. It was named in 2011, and that comprises of Nakuru, Elementatia, and Bulgaria. And there's the Mount Kenya National Park and Forest. This is Lamu. I'm really considering ditching my plan to go to I really need to go to Fort Jesus. Ditching my plan to go to back to Nairobi earlier and going to Lamu instead. Wow, These are lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna go down and it's good to give my hand a break. I'm gonna go down and check out the rest of the building and then go to the other places and then grab a coffee and make my way to Hell's Kitchen. That's the I don't know, it showed me a way. I don't know if I can go down from here. So I'm showing you a bit of Malindi. I was thinking about taking a keke and going around, but I don't know what's here. I kind of go around and I go down the stairs and then I can see the back. So there you go, that's the chapel. You can't really go inside, it's locked, so I won't complain. I paid 100 shillings, which is amazing. Guys, it's my final stop from the places I wanted to see in Malindi, and I am going to show you this magnificent view. Oh my god, it is like so beautiful. I'm gonna sit down and just chill for a while because I don't know why I'm feeling tired. I think it's because I've been carrying my bag and it's quite heavy. But this is absolutely beautiful. I don't think the pictures, I don't know if I even really looked at the pictures, but it weren't as magnificent as what I'm saying. So I'm going to do some shots. I'll show you around. Let me turn this way so you can see how pink that water is. It's really nice. And the site in itself has been in existence since the 16th century, so the location of the monument, it was usually in the middle of the city, but because it was a Muslim city, it caused a quarrel between the inhabitants, so they took it down from the center, but the Portuguese insisted on it being put back somewhere, so they put it on the coast, and that's where it's been till today. And I'm going to turn around and show you the monument which is aged actually, and then you see still the crust on top of it. Look at that.
After I was done, I headed back to my hotel in Watamu and just decided to relax before dinner. At dinner, we had a really nice dance performance from some of the dance groups at the hotel, and then I just got ready for my next day, which took me to Hell's Kitchen. If you'd like to know more about that, click on the link on the right side of the screen now. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Yours truly, Liesl81.